Football is very important to me. It means everything to me. It's my only way through the hardships that I have right now. Most of the time, these BTB coaches they help me out with, they help my family out with food because we don't have, you know. Without BTB, I'll be the troublemaker like I was before I got here. Yeah, I was a troublemaker, bad grades, bad kid. But yeah, they turned me around. They helped me out a lot. My name is Dieu Merci Michel. I'm a forward.
My name's Talal. I'm one of the owners, directors, and coaches at BTB. A bit of background in my upbringing is I was born in Kuwait to an Iraqi father, Palestinian mother. After the first Gulf War, we ended up having to immigrate. We had to leave the country, and so we ended up moving to Halifax, Nova Scotia, Dartmouth, Nova Scotia to be specific. I remember being part of the provincial team, and we were at a tournament with the Atlantic provinces. They were going to make an all-star team to go to Saskatoon for a tournament to compete against all the other provinces. And that was in my grade 9 year of school at this point, and I just wasn't feeling well. I remember that tournament, I think we played 3 or 4 games, and literally I was laying down curled up in a ball until the warm-up started. I would play. Halftime, I'm running to the washroom, and I think we got to the last game of that tournament, and it was bad. It was bad, and apparently I got sick enough, dehydrated, all that stuff, passed out, and ambulance picked me up, took me to the hospital. I was admitted to the hospital because they were trying to figure out what was going on. After about a week or so, they verified that I had Crohn's disease, and that I had it pretty severe. For someone my age, they were surprised that it wasn't picked up earlier. But that 3 months in the hospital was brutal, a brutal experience. I can admit it now. I didn't know what it was in the past, but I tell you, I went through depression. I went through anxiety. I went through a lot of different emotions, and I was going to school with a tube in my nose. That's the only source of food that came into me. I couldn't eat anything physically. I couldn't drink anything physically, and I was only able to go to school for 2 hours a day. And that was, anyone that's been to high school, it's many schools feeding into one. It's where there's a lot of jerks. There's a lot of people that bully, and so all that kind of bullying that happened when we first moved to Canada came back. But the only people that stuck with me were soccer people. The soccer coach at the school, even though I couldn't physically play, still allowed me to be involved with the team. I remember to this day, I had the opportunity to get a few hours out of the hospital. And on the way back to the hospital, we were stopped at a traffic light. And just by luck, one of the coaches at the club I was at pulled up next to us. I still have a relationship with this guy to this day. His name is Alan Jazik. He's actually the university coach now for the university I went to. Pulled up next to us, rolled down the window, hi. And the question is, when are you going to get better so you can come back and play? Right? So those little comments, it means nothing at the time, but that little comment sticks in, oh, hold on a second. This guy still has some sort of belief in me that I can come back and play when I didn't have it in myself. And so that's the journey into coaching.
Like a little experience for me growing up playing soccer in Canada, Halifax and Edmonton. The biggest difference I saw is for me particularly as an immigrant, as a black player coming up. I didn't think the coaches cared about me, right? I think they cared that, oh, Conde can score 2 goals for me, right? So I need to go pick up Conde so Conde can go score 2 goals for me, right? And we win the game. But like outside of soccer, I never had that connection where they say, okay, let's go pick up Conde, and I take Conde with my kid to the lake or to go hang out. Nothing like that. It was strictly business, where the coaches just pick you up, go score some goals for them, go back home. So I think for us, we're trying to change that culture where it's a family. Right? We want to create a family atmosphere where every single person feels like they belong. Every single person feels like they belong. So we try to do a lot of activities outside of soccer. We try to like communicate with the kids outside of soccer. We try to get to understand them as human beings, as people first. Um, so every single year we have like a meeting, like a team meeting. Also, I'll send out like a sheet that basically asks them, okay, what's your favorite team? What food do you like to eat? Um, where what you want to be when you grow up? What is your 6 months goal? What is your 2 year goal? What's your 3 year goal? So we try to do that with every single player in the academy, just so we can try to understand what they want out of being in BTB.
So BTB is born to be. Basically, it means that you're born to be whatever that you choose to be. One of actually the ways that BTB really originated was through Conde. Um, he would just take a couple kids out on the field. They were his cousins at the time. They would just play during the summer. Then eventually he noticed there were more kids coming from his neighborhood to play with them. So he decided to open it up a little bit to the community. Once he was able to do that, he needed a little bit more help. He called me over, asked if I could help out. We opened it to the community, and we just kept getting a lot of kids coming in. And from there, we've just been growing since then.
Yeah, the motivation for me to get into BTB, quite honestly, was what kind of example do I want to set for my kids, people in my community, my family, and we're in a time and age where we have the opportunity to own our own things, to run our own things, to put an imprint and contribute back to a Canadian society that's welcomed us in and given us so much. And so that's a big part of the motivation, and a true belief that we can be and provide these kids from within our communities with something more than just soccer. When I had the conversations with Pius and Conde, and what's BTB? What does it stand for? And Conde said, it stands for Born to Be. Great. Born to be what? Soccer player, pro. Born to be. There's no continuation, right? He had a vision that everyone was put on this earth. They were born to be something. Whether it's an athlete, whether it's a musician, whether it's a doctor, a pilot, whatever it is, you're born to be something, right? Everyone has a value, and it's about allowing kids to be able to dream and achieve that goal. What we know is soccer, and that's how we're trying to provide it.
I think some struggles that we went through too is I remember this time where I think we had 12 kids that made the provincial team, which is the highest level. We had 12 kids that made it, but 6 kids couldn't afford to go. Right. So what I did, I emailed all the parents that I know, from the teams I coach, from BTB, and I told them to like put the bottles. And I explained to them why I needed the bottles to raise money for these kids. So I was able to go to every single house, pick up the bottles, go to the bottle depot, go to all around the place from St. Albert to the west end, south side, north side. I think it took me like 10 hours to do that bottle drive by myself, and I was able to raise like $600, right? So I was able to raise $600, and I was able to also take some money from my pocket, and just add it, and the kids were able to go to Vancouver for the showcase. I don't even think some of these kids know about that, right? But like for me, I always wanted these kids to have the best opportunity to succeed, because I didn't have those opportunities growing up.
I would say the biggest challenge is having our sanctioning revoked.
Ever since like there's a little bit of success with the academy, we've been targeting people. People are sending emails about us. People won't sanction us, and they have no reason not to sanction. We have all the paperwork. We have everything.
There's a lot of email communication and phone calls and back and forth, and eventually, the latest email that I got back was, you're not sanctioned. We withdrew your sanctioning. That's correct. We don't have to give you a reason why. We don't have to sanction anyone. Please don't contact us again.